I see your re from SC there, Jarammer, and I will raise you. Let's do this. Okay, I just realized something. I may have inadvertently had the sound playing on the Rumble feed because I was watching Alex and Danny's show last night. And by the way, speaking of Alex and Danny's show last night, I see the Fit Life with Danielle is with us this morning, and I just want to say, what the fuck, Danny? Come on. Ouch. Good morning, everybody. It is Firearms Friday. I am your host, Christopher Lowry, and we are going to do some DGUs. First, let me say good morning to some people in there. I already said, hey, J. Rammer, I got your re from SC. I see Fish and Golf had first blood over on the main chat, but I think the re from SC actually beat you to the punch there this morning, brother. The Sergeant Major has joined us, and I also see GCM. Good morning, sunshine. Steve Rodemeyer, the Banhammer. Pitt Danny, I saw Pitt Danny last night at the GOP meeting. Not the worst meeting we've had, and that video should be up on Rumble by now. I initiated publication. Good morning, sunshine.
Yeah, good morning.
And I see, let's see, who did I get to already? There's Ma, love you, Ma, good morning. I already said WTF to Miss Danny there. Thank you, sunshine. And there's my mother-in-law, Trish Barrett, and Rod Purvis joins us this morning. And last but not least, Uncle Steve. Good morning. What's up? And as sunshine gets in here, I'm gonna adjust the camera to get some camera on. How you doing, sugar?
No, I'm good. Just, had some interesting things happen on the way here. Well, I had some interesting things happen on the way here, including having to answer questions of some of Rockdale County's finest. So I apologize for the delay, but...
This sounds like there's a story here.
No, there's no story. I didn't get a ticket. It's just a couple of things went wrong, and then, you know how sometimes cops just go, that one, and you go,
I do.
Yeah, how can I help you, officer?
Oh, Trish says she picked a ton of jalapenos yesterday. You know what that means?
Jalapeno salt.
Yeah, baby. We're excited about that. So... You
really good on cheeseburgers.
It's really good on everything.
I was about to say it's really good.
I had it on a vanilla ice cream cone the other day. World altering.
I could see.
I'm kidding.
No, that wouldn't be that weird. Like, it should be sort of like salted caramel, and then when you've got like the cool vanilla ice cream, and then you include the jalapeno element.
We will do some dessert experimentation when we get our next shipment of jalapeno salt.
See, I see Steve there talking shit, and what he doesn't. I can assure you, sir, my alarm went off at the correct time this morning.
Oh, and Trish says, "Hope you like it hot." So we actually had a long conversation about this the last time they came down to visit, and apparently the working theory is that if you keep your peppers thirsty, you just don't put you just don't water them as much. That makes them hotter. That makes them spicier. I didn't know that, and going off of the data collected from just sampling Trish's wares, that appears to have some merit.
Okay, anyhow, blah, blah, blah. Jalapeno salt, and Cameron was late, and yeah.
Freddy's, Xander Mac mentions Freddy's jalapeno fry sauce. You talking about the joint over in front of Target in Conyers, the Freddy's Burger Stop joint? I'll have to check that out.
It's like Steak and Shake, only they do frozen custard.
Yeah, they also do hot sauerkraut on patty melts, which is a special kind of witchcraft.
They have more toppings available for their steak sandwiches, yes. I particularly like the caramelized onions.
Shit, lunchtime's a long way off, my brother.
No, let's keep talking about jalapeno salt and burgers and ice cream and custard.
So,
hey, man,
let me be totally fair. It's Firearms Friday. Mm-hmm. We're here to talk about guns. And I have a strong suspicion that the people that want to come and watch us talk about guns are the same sort of people that would enjoy watching us talk about, I don't know, beer reviews, steak reviews, things of that nature. So I don't think we're too far off the mark for this particular audience. But that said, and you know I love pizza. You love pizza. You want to cover this first DGU?
Sure. Oh, wow. That'll do it. Pizza delivery driver shoots suspect during carjacking attempted robbery in Chestnut Hill. Okay.
Before you go any further, here's the thing that I really wanted, that I'm really hoping to get out of this story. I want this story to go. Somebody tried to rob the pizza delivery guy. The pizza delivery guy lawfully produced his lawfully possessed firearm, defended himself, left the car parked where it was, and was able to just walk up the driveway and deliver the pizza on time before walking back to the scene and dealing with the police.
Take the gun, leave the cannoli, only in reverse.
Exactly. So, this one comes to us out of Philadelphia.
A pizza delivery driver shot a suspect during a carjacking and attempted robbery in Philadelphia's Chestnut Hill neighborhood. Police said the incident happened as the 21-year-old pulled up to the Village at Chestnut Hill Apartments on the 7700 block of Stetton Avenue late Tuesday night. Two masked men with guns forced the delivery driver back into his vehicle, police said. Police said the delivery driver from Queen Bee's... Chris...
I'm sorry.
From Queen Bee's eventually got out of the car and one suspect followed him. That's when the shooting occurred. It appears that this was a robbery carjacking. Well, this appears it was an attempted robbery carjacking. And our delivery man, the victim of the robbery, was able to pull his weapon. He was in a shootout with one of the perps, and that perp was shot in the lower back. The delivery driver was not hurt and has a license to carry, police said. Police said the second suspect remains on the run. Police in the area told Action News that they recognize the driver's need for self-defense. He's got all the right in the world to defend himself, said Michael Coley. From Chestnut Hill. What did they say? You do stupid stuff, you get stupid prizes.
Yep.
Yeah. play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Though I still think the FAFO is the
Yes.
And
Yeah, I'm a fan of the FAFO. It's the scientific method.
It is. It is. It's literally the scientific method. What do they say? You do stupid stuff, you get stupid prizes. That's not what they say, Christopher Brown. From the city's Mount Airy neighborhood. Action News talked to a man who works with the driver and was on the phone with him during the robbery. He didn't want to go on camera, but he says he could hear his driver pleading with the robbers not to shoot. It's unclear if either of the two suspects fired a shot, but police say they are looking for a weapon that could have been thrown somewhere last night. Police also stated that the driver would not be facing any charges. Good. And queen bees. We don't have many of those around here, do we?
No, I don't think I've. Well, they're not pizza joints.
Stop.
I'm sure there's one or two about, but they're not pizza joints.
I just hope
we don't have a report on the condition of the assailant that was injured, so we don't have any confirmation as to. I'm assuming that he was not found dead at the scene. It doesn't say that he died later of his injuries at the hospital.
Well, he was just injured, which is good.
But I'm not willing to send this poor driver back to BRM because, frankly, he hit his target. Lower back injury. I'm sorry, if the perp survived, then the perp in this case just might get an Iron Man prize.
Also, a lot of, like, you and I both worked for Papa John's some 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Papa John's doesn't want you to be armed, and they don't just not want you to carry a gun. Like,
they don't want you to have one in your car.
Well, not only that, but they don't want you to have mace. They don't want you to have a taser. None of it. Like, sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
By corporate policy, they would prefer that the driver die over the company having to deal with the public relations fallout of one of their drivers defending himself.
So, this says something about Queen Bees where the kid hasn't been fired. Honestly, because that would be... and it's not just Papa John's. Like, I guarantee you that Pizza Hut has a similar policy. Domino's has a similar policy. And, yeah. So, it's why their solution, by the way, most pizza chain solutions is, we restrict the amount of cash our drivers are allowed to carry. Okay.
Let me explain you something, sweetheart. Okay, I order pizza for my wife and 4 kids and myself. That's like 3 pies times $20, assuming there's no coupon code or something, right? Plus a tip. So you're talking $60-$70 on one order for a reasonable sized family. Pizza drivers tend to take more than one order at a time, 2, 3, 4. So even if you've got some, single guy bought 1 pie and it's only $20, it's easy for there to be, $100, $200 cash on the driver on one run. Where he has not yet had time to dump money. And to be clear, the kind of guys that are going to rob a pizza delivery guy are interested in buying a $35 teenth of meth. They don't give a shit how much he's got, even if it's only half of what they need to get that teenth. They'll just rob too. Well,
we live in a world now where everybody has a smartphone. Not to mention you can steal the pizzas themselves. It's a lot. And almost everybody's got some kind of, like, somewhat expensive electronic in their car, iPads or Bluetooths or whatever.
Well,
so
Xander Mack makes a good point. It's more the liability than the appearance. And that's a fair point. There is a lot of fault here that should be laying at the feet of government generally. The idea that a company that employs a person bears any liability or responsibility for that person's safety in a situation where that person has been endangered by the intentional overt acts of a third party, should take into account that the policy of the company to diminish the security posture and the safety of that employee by disarming him in clear violation of his rights, which is a muddy statement, I know, because we're not talking about a government entity necessarily with the company, but has taken the position that it is safer for us, the company,
right,
to degrade the security posture of the employee for the law to tolerate that theory is intolerably unjust.
Yeah, they get to claim later, so, hey, it's not our fault. We made the no gun rule. Oh, okay. All right. I see. Rod mentions retailers strike back, 7-Eleven workers beat brazen mega shoplifter with a stick. I saw that video, and I almost pulled it up for this morning, but I don't want to get us thrown off of YouTube today. They beat that dude with they beat one of the. They literally gave him a spanking.
Holds him down.
Yeah, the other
would just. I don't know what it was. It was like a shower, like a wood closet dowel or something. And I mean, just railed on the guy. And when Rod says brazen mega shoplifter, it's this dude comes into this 7-Eleven with like a 50-gallon trash can with a trash can liner in it, and just goes behind the counter and just starts throwing all the cigarettes in it. Like he's filling this trash can up with cigarettes, and the two shop clerks, they just grab him and start beating the absolute shit out of him. It was excellent. Go watch that video. So let's move on to number 2. All right, this out of KHOU out of Houston. Houston Police Department. KHOU. KHOU.
I'm just making it. I was making the joke.
KPD. Woman shoots, kills man who tried to break into her home in Spring Branch. Houston Police said the woman is cooperating with officers. They believe she fired in self-defense. Okay. We're in my house. Bad guy dead. Evidence of break-in. That guys, your investigation's done. Have a nice day. A woman shot and killed a man Friday, she said was trying to break into her home in the Spring Branch area, according to the Houston Police Department. HPD said the woman, 41, is cooperating with investigators. They believe she fired in self-defense. This happened right after 7 a.m. in the ABBA RV Park, oh dear, on Jacqueline Drive near Long Point Road. Police said the man, 53, recently moved into the community and he and the woman had just met. Police are not sure what the motive is behind the break-in. They said the two were not in any sort of relationship. David Kwok, an associate professor of law at the University of Houston and co-director of the Criminal Justice Institute, says self-defense laws will be considered. Yeah, I should hope so. If it was her RV, that would make a legally relevant difference, Kwok said. Another critical factor is the question about whether it's reasonably necessary to use deadly force.
Boy, is Kwok trying to win the Captain Obvious award? Like,
we're going to have to change his name to David Myungbeck He. Those of you who recognize the last name Kwok will get that joke. Okay, that looks like that's the whole story then.
That does appear to be a DRT.
It does. We'll give her one.
By the way, did you say hello to Jarammer293?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Because the separate window, Rumble, come on, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Integrate.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Everybody else that we're looking at in the chat window, like we're seeing Twitch and Facebook and all that, and then all the way over here on a separate screen, it's Rumble. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got to go back real quick. This is a comment that Sanderback made while we were talking about liability and companies and the like. I absolutely detest this argument, right? I want you to think back to a few years ago after one of the mass shootings, and Joy Behar was talking about these crazy Republicans want to arm the teachers. Like, I know if I just had a gun around all these kids, I might lose my mind and start shooting them. Okay, got it. Point taken. And here's the correct answer to that assertion. If you're the sort of person who cannot be trusted with a firearm because you're not an intelligent, responsible fucking adult, it's not that I don't want you pointing guns around my office. You have no business being employed in my office. You're not a valuable asset. You are a detriment to the company. If I cannot trust you to be a responsible adult with a firearm, you are not worth a salary. In fact, if you can't be trusted with a firearm, we have a place for you. It's called prison. And the only way I phrase it like that is because we live in a country so saturated with sociopathic pussification that we don't kill criminals at the rate we should.
I don't know that I would have gotten quite that fired up, but whenever I see an argument along those lines, I always think about, have you ever met your average truck driver?
Yep.
You kill a lot of people with an 18-wheeler.
Yep.
And
they don't very often.
Very often.
In fact, it's exceedingly rare.
In fact, there's a lot.
For now, automation's going to tell us some new stories.
In fact, there's a whole bunch of blue collar trades that have a high degree of danger associated with them, like that have some. Well, frankly, that have people that you might not want waving guns around doing the job. And that's where we come back around to, yeah. So, like I said, I don't know that I would have gotten as fired up as you
I
did.
get pretty fired up about this one. I get pretty fired up about that one because it really is that simple.
Can we
say, well, I wouldn't want that guy waving a gun around in my building, like. Then why would you want him in your building at all? Because what you're telling me is that he's visibly and observably mentally unstable, emotionally compromised, that if a person's a threat with a gun, they're a threat without a gun.
That does, yes. Yes. You think we can squeeze in one more?
Yeah, we can squeeze one more in.
Squeezy peasy?
You got this one? Hello, do the thing.
Customer with gun thwarts robbery by shooting suspect at southwest. Oh boy. Customer with gun thwarts robbery by shooting a suspect at Southwest Michigan gas station.
I'm Adam Wee.
Oh man. Cass County. A suspect who allegedly tried. Here we are. Here's the allegedly word. A suspect who allegedly tried to rob a Southwest Michigan gas station this week wound up in the hospital after a customer with a gun intervened and shot him, police said. Village of Cassopolis police chief told McMichael Chief
Todd. Like with the chin. Like the guy with the chin.
Shut up. I can read. I promise I can. Said in a press release that officers were made aware of the incident after receiving a call about a shooting and armed robbery attempt at the Stone Lake Marathon gas station off South Broadway Street just before 10 p.m. on Thursday, July 27th. Cassopolis is in southwest Michigan's Cass County near the Indiana border. Well, thanks for that. Good to know. When police arrived on scene, they found a man with several gunshot wounds and another man holding him at gunpoint. Woo, boy. Somebody blew into the hornet's nest, huh? McMichael said that officers determined that the armed man had a valid Michigan concealed pistol license and was a customer at the gas station when a male suspect tried to rob the clerk. The customer stepped in, shot the suspect multiple times, and kept him at the scene until police. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm pretty sure if you shot him multiple times, I'm pretty sure it was the holes that kept him at the scene. The suspect was taken to the South Bend Memorial Hospital by ambulance, where he was admitted for injuries. The suspect was listed in stable condition as of Friday, July 28th. As detectives worked the scene, McMichael said they discovered the suspect's vehicle and arrested a woman for possessing methamphetamine and a warrant for the same. All names are being withheld pending completion of the investigation and any possible arraignments in court. McMichael said the case is still open at this time. No other information was released. Yeah, look, I mean, don't do meth. I met a youth pastor once who tried to be like one of the kind of cool youth pastors, and he had this series of rules where he tried to meet kids in the middle. Because there's one extreme where you don't hold hands, and then there's the other extreme where you engage in premarital sex, for example.
Right.
And so he tried to find the lines and the thresholds in between. Okay? And one of the things that he said was, kids, I know you're going to be kids. So as you experiment with things, meth is not one to experiment with.
Meth is right out. It's off the list. That's
Right.
That's messed up, man.
There's no... have you ever met anybody that dabbled in meth? Right? You meet people that are like, I smoke a joint every now and then. People that do meth, don't do meth every now and then. So don't do meth. That's your first one. Then your second one is don't rob people. And then your third one is don't get all methed up, leave your girlfriend in the car. Man, like, how high as balls was she where she stayed in the car and didn't attempt to leave the scene? What are you doing here? What do you mean, what am I doing here?
You remember my buddy Allen, Robin Allen, right? Robin.
Okay, yeah.
Robin called me a couple days ago because she was talking to this producer in San Francisco, and they're sitting there having the conversation, drinking some beers and talking like, wow, we are the two conservatives in the entire city right now. And Robin was talking up the show and going on about us, talking with this film producer. And so they called me, had a couple drinks in them, and we had a good long chit chat. And that producer, who I'm not going to name right now, but he told me that he's about to be over here on the East Coast. They're going to be working on a documentary about the methamphetamine pandemic or epidemic most especially in Appalachia, and the documentary is going to be called Dixie Crystal. That's messed up, man. That is messed up.
Anyhow, this is coming out of
wherever the hell this one was out.
This is coming out of Indiana.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't do meth. Don't rob stores. Don't get high as balls on meth and leave your girlfriend in the car while you go rob a store.
Yeah, don't leave your girlfriend in the car when you go in to rob the store.
Don't bring your girlfriend. Don't bring your girlfriend with you.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't ever take my wife to work.
Okay,
Anymore.
Stop. I have comments. I just. Woo.
That's right. Your women are for putting to work, not for taking to work.
Oh.
So, and I want to go back real quick and address this Xander Mack comment because it relates to my little tirade a minute ago, and I want to remind you that a part of that was my assertion that what has happened when you have companies whose company policy is that employees cannot carry a firearm is that the company, citing concerns of liability, regulation, etc., have chosen legal compliance over the safety of their and the civil liberties of their employees. And I understand that the law is complicit in that abuse, and that is my point. Well, Xander, you are correct. I don't deal with liability insurance of that sort. I do carry liability insurance for various reasons and productions. The HR department, to a lesser extent, yes, through several of my contracts and regulation also. But I want to be very clear about this. My point is that it is government regulatory compliance where those companies are making the choices. It is the choice to comply and be in compliance with government regulatory requirements. Those requirements are themselves unlawful. And they are the problem, because the fact is that the government, by having those regulatory statutes in place, and I'm saying regulatory statutes in place for a very specific reason, these are not laws. This is one of the problems with the deep state, is there are broadly interpretable laws which have been interpreted, this goes back to the Chevron problem, which have been interpreted by unelected bureaucrats in overbloated bureaucratic entities. They've been interpreted into regulations which are themselves unconstitutional and unlawful. So the thing that you are looking at here is the government as an entity forcing another entity, a private entity, to take an unlawful action, which results, incidentally, in an additional criminal act, which is the deprivation of civil liberties under color of law. Because even though the company that's making the regulatory compliance choice is not necessarily a government agent, it is being forced at gunpoint by a government agency to do so. That those regulatory entities exist is in violation of the law. That's important to remember. So we need some activists really going after that. There's a lot of work to do, guys. And I mean, right now, what I could do is talk about it. So that said, it is Friday. It's time for the safety brief.
Have you talked about Gun Day Sunday? Or is it Sunday Gun Day?
So, yes. Xander Mack has gotten tired of watching our show on Fridays and decided to do his own.
My God,
after watching Firearms Friday on this morning, you'll want to keep an eye out for alternate Sundays, Sunday Gun Day with Xander Mack from the TPS report. That show will be on Rumble, but if you want to be able to comment and engage in the conversation, you'll have to pop over and find them on
Locals
on locals.com. And so definitely go check that out. He's doing the first one this Sunday, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he's doing the first one this Sunday, and if you miss it on Sunday, go check out the TPS report live on Monday evening, and I'm sure he'll tell you about it again. And so speaking of safety, keep calm, carry one. Don't drive drink, don't fry bacon naked, and buddy, don't take your girl with you when you go to rob the gas station. All right?
Also, the deadliest shot is always the one they didn't see coming. There's a reason why they call it concealed carry.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've seen signs on doors that say this is a gun-free property, and I'm like,
that's what you think. Yeah. So speaking from personal experience, I can tell you this: if you heard a gunshot, it didn't hit you. And if you heard if you just heard a gunshot, they didn't miss you because they weren't shooting at you. It's when you hear that second crack that you know, oh shit, that was for me. Yeah, that second crack, it's like they have a little ringer on them. It's like, oh, somebody wants my attention.
yeah, Pit Danny beat you to the punch. No meth.
Yeah, no meth. Methijima.
Not even once. That's
Methiji don't.
I'm just gonna dabble in meth, Chris. I'm just gonna do meth this weekend. I've got a lot of yard work I need to get done.
I've always wanted to just try meth. No,
I feel like painting my house at 2:00 in the morning.
Right.
All right, so we're late.
So y'all be safe out there. Hey, my favorite Ninja Turtle popped in at the last minute. Matt, if you're earlier on time, if you're on time, you're late, and if you're late, you're left behind. We love you, and we will see you on Monday.